Welcome to the OCR report. This is the coverage of the SavagePro Series. This is race 2 of 3, Georgia Fall. I'm Francesca Curando, and I'm joined tonight by Miranda Huber.
Hello, welcome. Excited to be here.
Absolutely same. So this is the second race of the SavagePro Series. We were here just a couple of weeks ago doing the first race, which was in Maryland, and already we're on to the second race of the series, third one coming up in November. As we mentioned last time, a little bit of a difference here with the races. We've got 3 races in the Pro Series this year. Last year it was 7, and we are going to see quite a bit of a difference in the series because of that. But I'm excited to see how this race goes. Last time it was incredibly competitive. Maybe we can take a quick look at the results from the last race and have a chat about what we might see today.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited for Georgia. It was one of my favorite courses in the series when I competed in it 2 years ago. Lots of running through the woods and whatnot. So that was really exciting. I really liked the scenery. The temperature was actually cold, but I think in this fall race, since it's in September, I bet the weather was really nice.
As always, I'm going to comment on our different opinions of what cold means, because I'm pretty sure your idea of cold is my idea of tropical.
Okay, that is normally true. That Savage race was like 30 degrees though, so it was actually cold. Not just Texas
really
cold.
So the last race, which was the first of the 3 Pro Series, we saw Sean Roberts coming in first place, followed by Jordan McDougall, Kevin Thompson, Ryan Britzelaar in 4th, and Marcus Green in 5th. On the women's side, we saw Jamie Horianopoulos in first place, Rachel Waters in 2nd, Jessica Shepherd was in 3rd place, Emlyn Chang in 4th, and Courtney Washington in 5th. I don't think it was any surprise to see Jamie and Sean in first place last time, was it?
No, yeah, we pretty much expected to see them up there unless something crazy happened. But I was actually a little surprised by how close it was to second place. So I was really glad to see that battle.
Yeah, it's interesting because this year it's a little bit of a change in terms of the athletes. Last year, we had, as we mentioned last time, we had Chris Rogloski racing a lot. So we kind of she stormed a lot of the races, but the female athletes this time have I think everyone's kind of stepped up their game, haven't they? And they're all really, really close together.
Yeah, definitely.
And same with the men, to be honest. We were expecting to see a kind of a runaway win from Sean, but again, it was a lot closer. However, we are in Georgia today. This is the second of 3rd of 3 races. Who are we seeing running today, and what are we thinking is going to happen?
I think we see some of those same top names that we saw finish in the previous race. So we do have Sean returning, as well as Jordan McDougall and Kevin Thompson and Ryan Brizzolaara. So the top 4 from last time are all going to be here again. So I expect kind of the same sort of competition. I'm curious to see if things get shaken up or if the results are the same. But yeah, I think it'll be a good battle. Now they all have a little bit more fuel under their belt, right? If they didn't finish in the placement that they wanted. So they might want it a little bit more this time, which should make it a little bit more exciting.
That's a really good point. And with the series being only 3 races, by this point, you're 2/3 of the way through at the end of this race. So you don't have a lot to play with. There aren't many chances. So it really is going to set that fire. Are there many differences, would you say, in the Georgia race to the Maryland race that might play into any of these athletes' hands?
I feel like the courses are vaguely similar, but they are different. Georgia's a lot hillier and less muddy, definitely. So if you're more of like a technical runner, I could see Maryland maybe helping just because there's oh, well, now I feel like I put my foot in my mouth. I don't know. I feel like Georgia is definitely a lot more hilly and it was a lot more technical because you're through the woods, except it's
Mm,
not technical with like roots and rocks. The running actually felt really nice through the woods because it was like soft tree fall all over the ground.
mm.
So it was actually really runnable even with the undulating terrain. Maryland was back like through the woods where you did have some of those tree roots and rocks. So you had to be a little more careful about your stepping. Um, so I feel like that'll shake things up. We're definitely going to see some of the stronger, hillier runners doing better in Georgia.
Amazing. Let's have a quick look at the course map. I've got a few questions about the obstacles. Some quite new names in here, but let's have a talk about that during the race. And before we start, let's quickly go through this course map. So that was Maryland. Georgia's got some interesting obstacles that are not new for this year, as far as I'm aware, but I didn't recognize the names of. So I'm going to be interested to see what they look like and how they impact. And if the course is not massively different in terms of terrain, I know you said it's a bit hillier and there's some more technical running, but I'd say probably with these athletes, that might not cause that much of a difference. I wonder whether maybe the obstacles could be the thing or if it's just a different day. Let's see what the athletes do. Here we go. This is the Georgia course map. It threw me when I saw Dallas. I had a whole Georgia geography lesson. Um, so, heading off from the start on this 2 of 3 Pro Series Savage race, the first obstacle is the low crawl. And there's quite a big gap, it looks like, between, well, up to 1 and then up to 2 and then up to 3. Like there's quite a lot of running up to those 3
Yeah, it looks
obstacles,
like
right?
you hit 1 mile after the obstacle number 2 before you even hit obstacle
Mm.
number 3. So there's definitely a lot of running there in that very first section.
I wonder if that'll change things up. Sean is a very strong runner. Well, what about
Yeah,
the other
I
athletes?
feel concerned because if you let the runners kind of get away out of the jump, then it
Mm,
can be hard to, keep your pace up to keep up with
mm.
them. So that can make it a struggle, I think, if somebody makes a gap and you lose visibility.
So following that is 4 obstacles very close together: Twin Peaks, Ramp Wall, Go Rug Jerry Carry, and the Clothesline. Followed by Barn Doors, Big Cheese, Wrecking Wall, Venus Guy Trap. I love these names. Sawhorses, Block Party, Logarithm, Great Wall, Nut Smasher. Again, great names. Barn Doors 2.0, Big Ass Cargo, Give and Take, Back Scratcher, Bruiser, Yank My Chain, Voulez-Vous Lâcher, Slippery Incline, Tree Hugger 2.0, Sawtooth, Savage Rig, and Colossus. That is an obstacle heavy race. That feels obstacle heavy.
I feel like it's been a little while since we've seen Sawtooth towards the end of the race. So I'm excited to
Mm,
see that. If people fall in, they'll get wet. I remember Chris fell in on Sawtooth in one of the series races. I think it was 2 years ago. And she did have a little bit of a lead, so she was able to retry.
mm.
But yeah, that can make a difference because once you're wet, things get harder.
They absolutely do. All right. I think we're pretty much ready to go with the coverage. So let's take a look.
Where you were. You gonna start it? I'm gonna start yours too. It's really working on that.
We
A
didn't
few
talk about some of
static
the women that
cameras.
we're going to see today, but we will
Uh,
see a lot of the same athletes that were in the top of the list last time. So we do have Jamie, Rachel, Jessica Shepard, as well as Kelly Sullivan and Courtney Washington.
Good to see those people back. Obviously, with it being a series race, if you're not seeing people here in the second event, they're kind of losing out on the chances to place overall. It's a risky game if you're not going to be here.
You see, the weather looks good to me. Probably a little hot for you, Francesca, and probably hot for a lot of the runners. I know that I run cold, so I prefer a little bit warmer, but it's probably a little warm for most of these athletes.
At this time of day, 21 degrees, way too hot, way too hot. Oh, the Lionhearts, give a shout out to them. We love those guys. Huge, huge supporters of OCR.
There's Ryan Brizzalara, Kevin Thompson.
And Sean Roberts.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Coming up on 90 seconds. How you doing, Jordan? Doing all right? Solid race in Maryland. Sean is here.
Nice size heat that they've got going on. Looks like they've got some good competition there.
It's a very good heat, yeah.
Clear the mechanism, gentlemen. New day, new race, new course.
Is that Jordan McDougall in the blue shorts?
Yes, it is. Kevin Thompson in the green, Jordan McDougall in the blue, and Sean in the black shorts. Ryan Brisson in the fancy kind of purpley shorts.
Yeah, they've all got different colors on, so that's nice.
I love that.
And then you've got the group of guys all wearing the black mud gear shorts.
Savages, are you ready? Send the pro men out. I say Savage, you say Savage, Savage, Savage. Pro men in 3, 2, 1. Let's get started.
I love how the rabbits are getting a head start. They're off. They're off.
Yep. And look at Sean, straight to the front.
With the amount of running that this race has to start with before the obstacles, I feel like this could be a kind of... Am I taking a risk by saying already this could be a runaway in terms of running for Sean? Who knows?
The good thing about Savage Race is you never really know. You know, anything can happen out there. I would still bet on Sean, definitely, all my money. But yeah, that's what keeps it interesting, right? Anybody can fall off a rig at the very end, and even if you have a 1 minute gap, all of a sudden that turns into 10 seconds, and somebody can be 10 seconds faster on an obstacle. So that's why I like the sport.
We had a nice pair of Maketa, who is a lovely athlete with so much potential. I'm so excited to see what he does. It's nice to see him running in the pro wave.
We have Ryan and Kevin.
Sean
not going to let Sean run away. Yep.
It is at times like this when you can tell the rabbits are on a buggy and keeping up with them, but you guys can help fast. He's absolutely amazing.
This looks like a very low crawl they were going through. Little different techniques than we saw last time. But it looks like Sean opened up the gap there. He got out quicker than the other guys. Get a little bit of view of the course there as the gator runs through. Got our group of guys. You can see them all going through the crawl there. Yeah, here we really get a view of the course. That was something I loved about this Georgia course, that just running through the woods like that was so pretty. That dirt was pretty soft, but yeah, I love this venue. I think in the background I can hear Savage Race employees talking about that as well.
The pack's keeping together really well.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was obstacle 1 of 27 already. Low crawl.
It's a
Now
little
the
bit.
next obstacle is called
Ooh, it's a
Thor's
chilly morning
Grundle,
out
and
here.
I don't know this obstacle. What are we looking at for that, Miranda?
Should be coming around any second now.
Actually, I can't remember that one off the top of my head because they do have those obscure names sometimes. And I'm not one of those athletes actually that studies the map at a lot of the times. I'm just excited to be there. I like to show up and
Nice job.
take my plan on race day.
Great job, guys.
Yeah,
Actually, I think we was. Oh, I thought it was that crawl, but I guess that would be the low crawl.
that was low crawl.
Oh, interesting. We saw a little separation there.
All right.
Different routes. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then they'll be in there for a while, so we have
And we saw the second 3 really sticking together.
Remember, get down in it.
Great job.
Any
Great
way you
job.
go, that's how you go.
And then a nice group of guys all together
Down to the
in
left.
that
Good job,
4th
guys.
through 6th slot.
Awesome job.
Well done.
So Thor's Grundle, thanks to the Savage Race website, they have a fantastic website where they list all the obstacles with pictures. They describe it as the tastiest obstacle in the game. Thor's Grundle will leave you covered in mud.
Great job.
Who knew a 50-foot trench filled with mud could be so intense? Take a deep breath before you're completely submerged in the muck, going under one of the baffles. You'll thank us later.
Okay. Did it have a picture of like a wall and you have to go under it? Because I think I'm remembering that now.
Yeah, so it's like a very, very muddy
Like a dunk wall.
dip wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you definitely.
I don't think they
to
have that
fully
one
submerge.
super often.
They don't.
see that
I've
one
not
very-
seen that name before. So it wasn't in the series race last year, as far as I'm aware, unless it was one of the races I didn't cover. But it's not marked with one of the new races, one of the new obstacles for this year. So I knew it was something that we hadn't seen a lot.
We still have 2 through 4 all grouped together. There we
we go.
have the Thor's Grundle. Yep.
And the Thor's Grundle. Great job, guys. Good job, Jordan. Good job, Ryan.
Yeah, a lot more compact than I was expecting by this point, to be honest.
Oh, so they really got to go under there. Mile 1. We are clocking in at 6 minutes.
So I remember at some point an athlete
Wow,
had
wow.
mentioned,
Two
a female
obstacles.
athlete, that sometimes they use their hair to dry their hands off of before going through a rig or something. But when they put you through an obstacle like that, you lose that option entirely. But what's nice about it is maybe you get a little, cooled off on this hot day.
Yeah, that was not as muddy as I was expecting, and maybe throughout the day for the open waves it'll become very muddy, but that was nice kind of clear water and probably really, really, really welcome at this point.
We have Sean Roberts in first, Jordan McDougall second, Brian Brizolara third, and then Kevin Thompson in fourth.
Well, Jessica's doing our job for us, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
If anyone didn't hear that, that was Sean Roberts in first, and it looks like he's got a little
Nice shot,
bit
Sean.
Wow.
of a head start there.
I see the guys coming around the corner at the bottom of that hill behind him. These little trees here can break up your running rhythm. As we saw, he had to squeeze through.
I had a really nice conversation with an athlete the other day. Cassandra Grill, she trained in track and field when she was in college, and she was talking about getting into OCR. It's a podcast I did with her. And she was saying one of the great things about doing OCR is that it's not constant running and it's changing up running, which allows actually for small niggles and injuries to not be so bad if it's not constant running like on a track. And I thought that was a really interesting thing to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done some like ultra distance is OCR and ultra distance on the road, and OCR is definitely the way to go in my opinion, because I felt like they were easier because you had the obstacles to break it up.
Twin Peaks obstacle 3 of 27.
And we're seeing the obstacles there create some larger gaps. That was obstacle number 4, ramp
Right.
wall.
Ryan followed by Kevin. So that'll be. Oh no, Ryan. Yes, Ryan followed by Kevin. So Jordan currently in second place.
And I did get a time. Ryan is 30 seconds behind Sean, picking up that go rut
Well
carry.
done. 30 seconds. That's a big gap already, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Yeah, we're only obstacle number 5, so pretty early on.
But I mean, I really do think that big chunk of running in the beginning was going to make a big difference when you've got a runner like Sean. Nine minutes 50 in, already on obstacle 6.
Job, Jordan.
This clothesline
They
obstacle
do like
is
to
very fun.
combine
You
them,
can
don't they?
see they do, yeah, and you can see they go high, they go low, and you just have to find any way to get between them, which is like different, I feel like, than any other OCR than you see. It's not uncommon to do like a crawl or something, or to have to go under something, but these that you have to step over and under really challenge like your hip flexors and all of those muscles up through your leg, your knee. So if you have any nagging spots or things that are prone to cramping in your legs, this is just gonna, exacerbate those kind of issues.
And I imagine, especially if you're carrying a weight, which these guys are, it just makes it just that bit harder. I think this is a really interesting way to do a play on the typical barbed wire crawl, which obviously a lot of athletes have a problem with. It's a similar idea, but without the same issues, but whilst keeping it difficult, giving it a new difficulty. Same order as we saw with the men. Sean, followed by Kevin Thompson, Ryan Britzolara, and Jordan McDougall. Sean, followed by Jordan McDougall, Ryan Britzolara, and Kevin Thompson, coming up in 4th place. Which is the same top 4 we saw last time, just mixed up slightly.
Good job. Jordan's
Into the
coming.
woods. Well done. Nice job, Jordan.
Woo! And there's Ryan.
Strong mount over the top from Jordan. I like that technique.
Go, Jason!
Go, Jason Dupree! Oh, wonderful. Producer from the OCR report. And sometimes Rabbit.
None of this would be possible without him. All right, I've got 46 seconds between Sean and Kevin coming over that wall.
So that's increased from 30 seconds to 46 seconds in the space of a couple of obstacles. That's crazy.
But Kevin looks to be moving well through this section here. You see this technical running. This is the sort of thing I really enjoyed about this venue.
That looks incredible. that kind of running, I think, that most athletes really enjoy about OCR, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And this is a very pretty sight as well. You can see some of the trees in the background, some, I won't call them mountains, but forest areas back there. So it's a really pretty field.
Obstacle 9, wrecking wall.
Maybe I just focus on that as a Texas athlete. We've got lots of, you know, tumbleweeds and desert-like.
Job, Sean.
I've got to say, I was very excited the first time I saw tumbleweed. As a Brit, that's not something you ever see. I saw it last year for the first time driving up to Mammoth. I stopped and got out of the car. I was like,
Training,
oh God,
the time, all that.
it's real.
Checked off. Now it comes down to
Yeah, that's it.
executing your
So
strategy.
here's the women.
Saving a little something for that
Jamie
last mile.
Horianopoulos, always recognizable,
We're absolutely going to need it on this 5.5
in
mile
beautiful
course.
bright pink on the top.
100% obstacle completion is the goal.
Jessica
Anybody here?
Shepherd to the right of
Never
her,
gone 100% obstacle
in the black
completion,
sports
but you
bra
plan
with
on doing it today.
the white logo on the front.
Several. Nice. Come on, that is a worthy goal. You complete every obstacle at a Savage race. That is absolute badassery right there. Good luck to you. You're shooting for a podium. That's your path. 100% obstacle completion. All right, ladies. Point
That
series
is,
number 2. You're racing
I noticed,
for points.
recognize Jessica Wong in the matching shorts and sports bra. Rachel Waters in the bright pink shorts. Jessica Shepherd in the all black red hair.
Limited 3, 2, 1. Now get out of here.
Jamie in the red sports bra. And then Kelly Sullivan with the blue sports bra. I think, is Courtney Washington the one with the pink shorts and pink socks?
She was to the left.
Yes.
I was interested to see if Jamie was going to be here because I did see the other day she got 2 new tattoos on her underarms, and I was like, are they going to heal in time for racing? Because that was just a couple of days ago. I wonder if that'll have any impact whatsoever on a race, because I would have thought that kind of sore, but I don't know because I've never done that.
It's more like a skin soreness, not really a muscle soreness. So I bet she's got them wrapped up, you know, to keep them safe from the water. But I'm sure she's well used to it.
She knows what she's doing. We go picture in picture. We've got the man.
And that is Sarah Tucker is leading in front of Jamie. She's a strong runner, does quite a few endurance events. Yeah, she has some podiums under her belt. I think she has a couple Savage podiums, but she's got some other brand podiums as well.
I know I mentioned last time about being in Florida last year for the final race of the Savage Pro Series, which was really nice to get to experience the Savage race in person, but it was really nice to get to meet some of the athletes as well after calling the races all year and then getting to see them in person. If it's people you've not met, you're like, I feel like I know you.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so I'm
just
little background on Sarah.
Sorry.
I did say that she's an endurance athlete, but she did recently complete, I think, her first 100-miler. But she's done some of those. Rachel Waters has done, I'm trying to think, that like backyard ultra OCR. Can't think of the name of it, but she's done that and done well as well. And she's really obstacle proficient. A couple different techniques
I've
there.
seen the different techniques. Yeah. What's your preferred technique on barbed wire crawls?
I I like to do a little bit of a mixture. So if I try to roll through it, I get way too dizzy, way too fast. But I do think that it can save some time. So I might try to like roll a couple, like, I don't know, maybe 3 times and then get up and crawl a little bit and then maybe roll to the other side. But try to like break it up. And I'm really just like changing my technique throughout to try to stay
It
fresh.
seems like the more successful athletes were kind of almost going sideways but crawling, whereas the
Yeah.
front-facing crawl, the kind of your rear end can stick a little bit too high up in the air.
Yeah, and it
nobody
looks like
wants to
this low
snag that on
crawl.
the barbed wire.
Yeah, this is like especially low.
You see a little rubbing over the butt there.
I noticed that too. Wonder if it got snagged.
Women have more to get out of the way of barbed wire, you know? Like, it's trickier for us. Here we go. Sean seems to be up in front still.
Is there any differential between the tall ones and the short ones?
Yes, but the racers get to shoot.
Obstacle number 11, sawhorses.
We don't have male and female.
If I was pro, I would go over the short ones.
Not as big a gap
Just to be quicker.
as
but
I was
they're also
expecting,
tall
actually.
ones,
I think I
yeah.
got
Jordan,
about,
you hard thing.
I don't know, somewhere between
You're right on
15
him.
and 20
Go get him, go
seconds
get him.
between him and Sean. So not too bad.
That's a
So they are definitely a lot closer.
yeah. He's really caught him up, hasn't he?
So it's like the battles between 1 and 2, they're pretty close together, and then 3 and 4 were pretty close, but it looks like Kevin might have dropped off just a little bit. Oh, there's Kevin. Okay. So Ryan is coming into sawhorses, and Kevin is leaving or exiting the woods, approaching right now.
These pros.
This is great. We don't have to do anything.
I got 53 seconds from Ryan to Sean. So from the leader to
Right.
third place. So that gap
that
is
looks-
slowly growing because we had 40 something seconds to Kevin.
Yeah. That looks so pretty.
Yeah.
Can I like ask a really naive English person question?
Sure.
Do you not get scared of like alligators in places like Georgia and Florida when you go to water?
So I guess in Georgia, I don't really think that's something you would be worried about. And also, I believe this is like a creek, which probably doesn't have water in it year round if they were in a dry spout.
Okay.
So I wasn't really worried about it too much here. And then also as a woman,
Okay.
I am very grateful that the men a lot of the times go first, because then I feel like if there were snakes or creatures in the water, I like to think that the men would have scared them off by the time we get there.
I see my head would just be like, the men would annoy them, then we'd get there and they'd be like, ah, snap.
Nice, good job.
Great, now that's what I'm going to think next time I'm out on course.
I'm so sorry.
Jordan's maybe about 15
In Florida, I could
Sure.
definitely see that being a thought, but I guess your competitive nature just takes over and you've got so many other things to worry about that you don't really think about it unless you see one. And I have yet
Yeah.
to see one.
Really?
Woo!
Ooh, what is this
Lots
one?
of water. Did you guys get in already? No. Nope. Thank you
Is
guys
this-
for being out here.
Logarithm?
Thank you.
Number 13?
It must be.
No! No way, girl! Here, he's coming.
This is
in
another
right
one I
now.
don't see very often, but it definitely looks like it can break it up.
Over, under, over.
Are we talking like overs?
Over, under, over.
Yeah.
Woo!
I'm glad they told us. I was wondering.
Good job, Sean.
I was looking at it, I was like, they're not low enough to be under, but over, under, over makes sense in terms just to kind of break up the rhythm. Sean moves through obstacles so quickly, doesn't he? So quickly. And even obstacles like that, and you might go, well, it's not really anything there's no real skill or anything he needs to worry about, but it's still just, he has really smooth movements that just get him through obstacles very, very quickly.
Yeah, and he's only going to continue getting better. You know, you come back to these races and you've got a lot of the obstacles are the same, like Great Wall, Yank My Chain, like things like that aren't super challenging,
Oh, there he
but you
is.
can figure
Mm,
out faster techniques that can save you
mm,
seconds. So those just kind of add up
absolutely.
over time.
And over. And under.
Okay, now we're
So Nick,
at
this is not
Ryan's.
bad technique. With the obstacles, it's not a bad technique at all. He did that nice and fast. But if we're comparing to Sean, Sean was just, it was just like he was running. He didn't even stop and think. He just did it.
Yeah. Yeah, we were about a minute and 5 seconds behind Sean there, so the gap is growing.
It's just growing and growing, isn't it?
And there we have Kevin coming through now in 4th place, and he's about 20 seconds behind that. So we
Do you
see
think
the
there are
field
any
breaking up.
obstacles here that could be causing a problem for the men that might change things up at all? I mean, from what I know, not necessarily.
Nothing individually, but when you put give and take, yank my chain, which surprisingly can be a grip-based obstacle, you've got the lache, and then sawtooth and the rig, you put all of those back to back, I feel like that can cause somebody to just slip, you know?
Mm. And whilst we're talking, you're measuring the distance between them. We're currently talking a minute and 5 seconds. Whilst that's a lot of time in terms of running, it's not that much time in terms of obstacle. So,
Yeah.
say 1st or 2nd place has a slip on something. Especially something like sawtooth, which is a big obstacle.
Yeah, if you
the
slip
time it takes
early,
to get out of that, you got to get out, you got to start again. Who knows?
yeah. And if you slip towards the end, that could be your entire 1 minute gap gone.
I'm not seeing anyone currently catching up to Jamie. She's got a nice, steady, comfortable run going.
Yeah.
Really nice technique.
She doesn't ever look like she's running hard or super fast.
No.
And yet she is.
I was thinking that about Sean as well. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was trying to say when I was saying earlier about keeping up with the athletes on the buggy. If you're keeping up with them on a machine, that means they're going really fast, but they don't necessarily look it. It's hard to tell because they're so good at it. They've got such good running styles. They're not struggling. I don't think I'm making sense, but I know what I'm trying to say.
No, I definitely get it. Yeah.
When you're good at something, you make it look easy.
Yeah, and she's got really good pace going through this carry. So a lot of the times, especially once you get a little later in the elite wave, and especially to the open waivers, anytime you pick up a heavy carry, you're starting to walk. But these pro athletes are really taking that opportunity to, they're trying not to break up their rhythm as much as possible. So she had a really good jog going in the beginning, and now she's going uphill, so it's a little more challenging, but see, she picks it up again as soon as it gets flat. Something that's not easy to do. I struggle really badly with the moving quickly with any sort of weight on me, which is something I need to work on.
And uphill.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, you can't really afford to slow down at any point, but I think especially for the women, I'd say there's a higher chance for the women to be failing obstacles than the men. So there are more chances that you could lose time on an obstacle. So any seconds that you have control over, get them.
I had already forgotten about this clothesline thing. This just looks miserable uphill with a carry through those things.
It looks miserable.
Yeah, Jordan, good job.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Put him back. Put him back.
Jordan on
Nice. Good job.
give and take.
Yep, kicking the bill from halfway through the implement saves you a little time from grabbing those extra grips.
Was that what he did last time? Was he the one who kind of basically just did one grip? One of the guys really kind of took advantage of the wingspan.
Yep. And then he also made those aggressive moves on the rig as well towards the end. He skipped a bunch of holds and did like 3 or 4 holds and yeah, made some really impressive leaps. Look at that jump from Sean. Just effortless.
It's just so nice.
Wow.
Do you think
mile
Kevin's
four,
got new shoes for
28
this race?
I hope so. Now we've got the
That was
ladies all
mile
bunched
4,
together.
we heard. For the men, mile 4, 28 minutes. I mean, these rabbits are doing a fantastic job. They're giving us so much information, and I love that. Yeah, here we go for the women.
Nice job.
Kelly Sullivan, it looks like in second. I think she's at this lead pack, followed by Rachel Waters coming out in the pink shorts. Ooh, here's our first look at that new obstacle.
Yeah.
And use their feet on that obstacle.
Yes, you can use your feet on that one. So you can basically go across.
Yeah,
that
I
whole
was
block.
expecting to see it being used kind of like a
But either way,
Tyrolean
4 is
traverse,
long,
but
so
he was
get
just...
away
Yeah, me
any
too.
way you can.
Why waste time? Why waste time if you've got
Yeah.
the grip strength? That's a
If you're
really
Sean,
nice
you don't need
obstacle.
feet.
I can't. We saw this last time with Villa Villa but that's a really nice obstacle in terms of the kind of, if we call it fast lane, slow lane options. It's really hard to create obstacles like that, but if you've got the skills, you can just do it in one way, which is faster. If you don't have that grip strength, you can still complete the obstacle. It's just going to take you a bit longer.
Yep.
Exactly
I
the
like
same
those
obstacle
obstacle
tackled
designs
differently.
as well. Something that almost all the open waivers can complete, or most of them, but also you've got the pros that can do it a little differently.
Create more competition.
Yep. Great technical running from Jamie here. You can see her taking those shorter steps as she goes through the more technical terrain and then kind of opening up when she sees clear spots.
Just picture the course design. It's like, let's just go this way. This is Drew. Who the heck cares?
Yeah, I loved all this tree-covered grass or the, fawn leaves. I don't know. I just love this course so much. I know I keep going on and on, but it really was my favorite Savage of all time. I need to make it back out there.
Why is it your favorite of all time? What makes this one better than the others for you?
I think especially because of like where I live now, just I miss being out in the woods and the wilderness, and that backwoods area is just so pretty. I love those big trees, the types of trees, those oak trees are really nice, and yeah, I don't know, something about it.
It's looking very English right now. Like, it looks kind of like home, this view. It's so funny when I see the States looking that way. I know in reality there's, a lot of differences, but the picture here. Jamie seems to have a real lead here.
Yeah. Kelly Sullivan looking strong up the hill. I didn't see anybody behind
Strong
her.
up the hill, but quite a bit behind.
Hit that bell.
Yeah, behind Jamie for sure. Sean
We're
made those
already
first
up to
two.
number 22 on Voulez-Vous Lâcher. 32 minutes and 39 seconds. Obstacle 22 of 27.
Made it look easy.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie showing her experience on that
obstacle
one.
line. Big cheese.
Kelly coming down, Rachel going up. They've got a nice competition for second going.
They do. Very close.
Jordan cut up.
Big swing. Ooh. That was a little bit close to not quite getting
Yeah.
well.
Looked solid, definitely. Not as seamless as Sean, but still a great technique. Rachel looking really strong here. I don't know. I always just admire her back, shoulders, and arms. You know, we all want to look like her one day. I've got a minute and 10 seconds from Jamie to Kelly. So there is a large gap between the ladies.
There is a big gap. I love that you're doing this timing.
Brought my handy dandy stopwatch this time.
That's such a good idea.
Jamie going through.
It's interesting not having Chris here as a comparison to last year, but I feel like Jamie's really stepped up. Like she seems a lot faster than she was last year and a lot smoother on obstacles.
Yeah, I agree. Every time we see her, she looks in control. It's nice sometimes to have this one-on-one competition throughout the race. If you're battling for second or third, really forces you to keep that pace on. So I'm like really happy to see them together here, pushing each other.
Swapping.
We've got a guy in the
places as well.
background. Yeah, guy in the background really proving how challenging this obstacle can be. It's not a gimme. I know the guys always make it look super easy. And similar to Kelly, I always kind of come down slow like that, so I'm not slamming down onto my feet.
Woohoo!
Tree Hugger 2.0 there.
That one also is surprisingly hard
Followed
for me.
immediately by Sawtooth. Is it?
Wow.
Is that a height thing?
I think part of it is height, but I'm not sure. You have to.
Look at Sean. Look at him.
He just made that look
Sean.
so easy. Oh my gosh.
Too easy.
Yes. He just didn't have any concerns with his grip or anything.
Mm-mm.
I believe that's Courtney Washington in the pink top. Oh, pink bottom, sorry.
I thought I was like,
Good job.
top? I think I'm losing my I'm glad you clarified. Jordan coming in second here. Really nice technique there on Sawtooth. Different to Sean. Not quite as smooth, but very, very strong. We were spoiled with that.
Oh, there's Ryan. He made
And Ryan's really caught up.
caught up a little
That's
bit.
Ryan coming through
Awesome.
just now after Jordan.
All right, and after some recon, the woman in the blue top that was coming through that obstacle with Courtney Washington, her name is Alicia Herman.
Oh, yay, we finished with
She's from Red Lion, Pennsylvania.
yes, come on, you got it.
Nut smasher.
Yeah, no, that's great. All right, Sean's coming into the rig. Here we are.
Hey, there's our leader right there, Mr. Sean Roberts,
Do it, Sean.
coming up to the rig right before Colossus. Nobody challenging him.
They had this new hold right there, that new grip we've not seen before.
Through these handholds right here.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Pause.
You got this.
He tried to skip some things.
Even for our pro
Unusual,
trying to get a grab on that rope.
interesting to see how a change in the rig switches things up with him, because we know how competent Sean is,
You got it.
and he's managing it just fine. I mean, he's so strong, but he's not as smooth as he's been. And oh my
Sean.
gosh, that grip strength is
job.
crazy.
Colossus, and you're done.
Yeah.
You have to do it to know how good that grip strength is.
First place male up Colossus.
Yeah, I can't believe he
Sean's
grabbed
really not had
like
any competition
two.
here, has he?
He had 2 or 3 ropes and
Roberts gonna hold
swung
on.
on them. That was just insane.
Second victory.
There we go. I mean, we kind of said it at the beginning, and I think that amount of running that this race started with did give Sean.
39.
It played to his strengths. It was kind of a runaway for him. I don't think we were in any doubt he would take first place, but it feels like it was a bit of a runaway.
Goes.
And Jordan looking smooth on the rig. He made up a little time there, but a little too late.
And there's
Cut on his back.
Jordan McDougal up the front side of Colossus. Making it look easy now.
These guys are so strong.
Oh, so strong. They're incredible. And Ryan Brislara following in third, looking just as strong. These grips are devilish.
There's 1, 2, 3. Roberts, McDougal, Brizzolara. There goes Brizzo up the front side of Colossus.
Do you want to give us a summary? Race number 2.
Money spots are in for the men.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's the race number 2 of 3. It feels. Oh, did you see that leap he did into the water? Race number 2 of 3 in the SavagePro Series for the men. We're in Georgia. Sean Roberts in first
There's our top
place,
3.
followed by Jordan McDougal and Ryan Britsolara. They all look a lot closer together than we were expecting to see not that long ago. Here's your top 3 men. Kevin Thompson following them in 4th place. It's the same top 4 we had in Maryland, just in a different order. Ooh. Kevin's struggling here a little bit. I said it's the same
Luckily,
top 4,
he's
but
got
Kevin
some
might not
room.
finish top 4 if he struggles.
It
That
looked
new
like he
grip
did the
looks-
same. Yeah. A little more narrow. I bet the women will have an easier time with the smaller fingers. But yeah, he did the same sort of thing that Sean did, kind of felt it and was like, I think I'm going to skip that. And then I think he just made a smart decision to restart instead of breaking up his rhythm so early on.
Here we go, back to the women now.
Running so well.
She strikes me as being very tall. I don't know if that's the case,
I was-
but in my head she's very tall.
I was just thinking that, like, she, in that shot especially, she looked like she had really long legs, but I don't remember her
She looks like she has
being,
very long limbs.
yeah. I don't think she's crazy tall, but she's not short for sure.
She's just blessed with long limbs, which look longer rather than petite. There we go, and picture of men on the finish line. I love to see the men start to jog as they notice a woman's overtaking them. They're like, oh, okay, there's a camera and a woman, fine, I'll run a bit. Logarithm here of school number 13 of 27. So almost halfway on the obstacles.
Nice work. Nice job.
Straight back to running. Something about going in and out of water makes it hard for my legs to kick it back into gear.
I don't know whether, I mean, the majority of racing that I've done that involves water is in the UK. And normally, even in middle of summer, water in the UK is freezing. And so I struggle because you just get really cold. Like, even though you might be hot, and actually normally it's just freezing cold here anyway. So it's such a big change. I don't know what I would expect standing water like that to be there. I suppose it's still going to be pretty chilly, isn't it? So that's going to play a big part in it.
Yeah, but I don't imagine it being, I guess I picture what you're saying is you come out of the water and your legs are kind of tingling, like almost numb. But this water is probably a little chilly. I imagine this far into the course, it just feels really nice and cooling. Yeah.
But there's something just about getting into and out of water. It pauses the legs for a second, maybe. You kind of got to, right, let's go again.
See the men kind of moving off to the side. Always very polite
Love
in
that.
the OCR community. She's making this hill look like cake.
I'm just thinking, even the underfoot, kind of very wet feet, powdery, sandy soil, then packed soil, then powdery, sandy soil. All these small things in obstacle course racing that make it tough. Whether you're a pro or whether you a regular, it's these constant changes. It's so much to adapt to as an athlete.
Yeah, I like what you pointed out earlier, though, about how that can actually help reduce injury or something like that, because you're not having to just run the same cadence and everything over and over and over again for an hour at a time. Nice and cautious, good technique.
Cautious,
for
but
Jamie.
not too slow.
Yep, nice and smooth.
So this is Rachel in second place. How far behind would we say right here? I mean, Jamie was here.
I have at least 30
minute and a half
seconds since she finished her balance beam. Curious what kind of gap she's got behind her as well.
Mm.
Already over a minute gap.
Run out the rest of her or what? So that put 'em out?
Oh, that wall's a little different.
Mm.
We got cargo and just ready to give and take. So we'll go straight to give it. Alright.
I'd be interested to see Bruiser again. I hope we get eyes on that and see how the women take on.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one a little bit more. All right, so we've got 2 minutes approximately between Jamie and Rachel. Rachel going through a little more aggressively.
2 minutes is a big gap.
Yeah. Did you already go through the rig? Wait.
We went, yeah, so we, Bardoor's big ass cargo, give and take.
Okay, that was just number 17. Okay, I'm thinking, I feel like a lot of the times recently, they've put that cargo net right at the finish line.
We've got Sawtooth,
Ooh, I'm excited.
Savage Rig, and Colossus right at the finish line.
Cool. I'm excited to see give and take. I always like watching this one.
I think it's a great
I don't think I haven't gotten to actually do this one yet. So I hope they bring it to Dallas. I get to try it out.
This is a little wooden axe. There are 3 of them planted out on your course today.
Kind of, it looks easy. Easy! It's like it's
You're
just
Jamie.
too far to reach, but they're quite close together. Oh! Not an easy obstacle. She made that look easy.
Yes, yes.
I remember the first time I tried Gibbons, which was at OCRWC. And I want to say 2018, which was where it would have debuted. And I thought I would be able to do it really easily because I love the rings, I love, grip obstacles, not the really funky holds like ropes, etc., but, a straight hold like that. And I thought, yeah, easy. Not easy. I was very much humbled. Very much humbled. So just
those wooden
coming
dowels.
into 3rd place.
Glad to see her up there. Yeah, those wooden dowels on the Gibbons just tend to turn and want to kind of dump your hand out of them and put your weak point where your fingers are closing on the top. And once that happens, it's nothing but grip that holds you in there. So it can be really challenging. So we've had a little bit of changes throughout the course. So Jamie's been in the lead for a while, but we've seen Rachel kind of battle with Kelly Sullivan. And now it sounds like Jess Shepard's in 3rd. So I'm curious what happened with Kelly, if it was just the running where it got overtaken or if there was an obstacle that made a difference.
Not you, Michael.
There's number 3, that's Jessica Shepard. Within striking distance of 2nd.
Oh, man, you got this.
Ooh. Hearing from the announcers on course, Jessica Shepard within striking distance of 2nd. So any mistakes on any of the obstacles, we've got rig coming up as well, which we know is tricky. Delivery Lachey, also tricky.
Oh.
Could be changes.
Nice job.
Look at that strength. Casual pull up.
Come on. There you go. Nice, nice.
Nice. Showing off her strength there.
Ridiculous amounts of strength.
Yeah, and you can see Jess coming up. So it's a good thing that we got through first try, because if you would have had to retry, you would have been tired, and that could have opened the door for Jessica there. So the importance of obstacle racing. I saw her bite on something. I wonder if she was taking in some fuel and nutrition there. A little curious. We're pretty far into the race. But it is good to take. I try to take fuel for anything longer than an hour, maybe 45 minutes, so that's a good time for it.
It's not something we really talk about that much, especially with races of this length.
Yeah, it's an interesting timing. I guess it could impact it more if you end up stuck on course. It could give you that energy, but I think the gels take, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to really hit your system. So by the time, if you take it 40 minutes in, by the time it hits you, you might already be done. But it also, I could see how that could expedite maybe your recovery afterwards as well. If you don't have that glucose crash, you might be able to get back to it faster. Here we have Jessica Shepard coming through, back scratcher, number 19.
We've not had eyes on Jamie for a while. And there she is. Here we go, this is Bruiser.
There we go. What do you think? I would definitely use my feet. I would want to save my grip.
I would use my feet. Without even a question, I would expect most people to use their feet.
I'm curious if Jordan, Kevin, or Ryan, if they did it, if they used their feet as well. I feel like most people would. Yeah, genuinely surprised to see Sean muscle his way through it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Woo! Every race.
Jason has started
Jason on the ground.
every single race. I think is his thing.
At least they look like solid falls though, where he kind of tucks and rolls. So, and he kept going, so that's a good sign. Know how to fall is an important part of obstacle racing.
I'll think of a way to work his name into that and come up with it for the next race. Bit of a lâcher. Wow.
Nice. It'll look easy. Something I like about Jamie's technique there is going through pretty quickly, not taking too much extra time. Sometimes if you let it get in your head too much, you get too mental about it, and it can make it more difficult. So trying to jump into these sort of obstacles and just kind of go for it right off the jump.
Things like lâcher is kind of, I feel like anyway, it's a case of once you've taken that leap and you know it's not as terrifying, it's just a case of doing it. But that first one can be really scary.
Definitely. Something I feel like we haven't talked about, but this going in and out of obstacles quickly when your heart rate is jacked up from the running. We haven't really talked about that at all, but these ladies are all really killing that. I feel like every time we see them in and out, they're running all the way up to the obstacle and running out of it straight away, which obviously is the reason that they're at the top, in the top 3 positions that we see them in right now, because that can be really
It's
hard to do.
definitely
That's a really
something.
hard sport.
I mean, I don't know if this is a universal thing, and maybe I should know it, but I know when I'm fatigued from running, I really, really feel it in my forearms, like right here, which sucks for obstacle course racing. It's almost like you got to punch it out, but you don't have time for that. And yeah, these women, they're just going straight in.
See, Savage likes to take use of their land, and they do a very good job of it. You can see that both athletes are going up a hill right now, and it's not a mountain, it's not a mountain course, but they find those hills and they
Hills are
send you
still
up and
hills.
down them. Yep.
I was just looking at Jamie kind of running, taking a few steps, walking, running, and I don't know if you've ever had a race where you've lost a place by seconds, but once that's happened, there's just never a point where you're willing to back off, and you can see that kind of thought of like, I need to walk a little bit, but I'm not going to walk too much. Even though she doesn't know how much of a lead she's got. Bit of a lâcher for Rachel.
Yeah, I think Jamie must be a little bit taller. I wonder if that helps on this obstacle. Rachel is a little more on the shorter side. I think we're similar in height. She's got nice technique, legs going all the way back.
Nice shaft.
Slippery incline, not so slippery.
Yeah, looked pretty dry. Depends on your shoes.
That was obstacle 23 for Jamie. We've got Tree Hugger 2.0, Sawtooth, Savage Rig, and Colossus. That Savage Rig was pretty brutal. The top 4 men, we saw Sean take more time on it than he has on any other obstacle, but they all went through reasonably easily. It'll be interesting to see if we see that as well for the women.
Yeah, the fact that we saw somebody in the top 4 have a slightly more of a, I don't want to say a struggle, because I feel like it was really more of a fluke, like an accident, kind of a grab miss, or he even kind of maybe made the decision to like skip some and was like, oh, it'll be worth it. But yeah, anytime you have that in the top men, it means typically the women are going to have a little bit of a harder time.
Mm-hmm.
And there you can see Jamie, it is not a gimme obstacle. Yeah, she's a little taller than me. You got to jump on that tree hugger and wrap your legs around it and hope you stick. And then you have to like shimmy up it until you can reach one of those ropes. Once you can reach a rope, you can pull yourself up. But there was at Dallas last year, I almost struggled to get on that thing. It took me a couple tries and, seconds that I didn't want to waste.
Really
nice technique
nice
from Jamie there.
Transition there with Jamie. As we spoke about last time, that middle section transition where you're going down and going straight back up again, really tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, and she didn't look concerned at all. She did it with confidence and just swung through it, and that's a really good way to do it. But if it's wet at all, that can also be really tricky to do it with that kind of technique because you can slip off easier. But she looked solid. It looks like a fairly dry day. I didn't see like dew or anything on the rigs and the walls and stuff. We just saw the wall that was super dry, so. And then on the rig, even if it was full of dew, it had a bunch of ropes on it. So even if those get wet, they're not super slick like other handholds can be. So kind of the benefit of those little mop head things they've got going on.
What's your favorite Savage obstacle?
The rig, definitely. Always. I like hard rigs. Even when they take me a couple tries, they still end up being my favorite because they challenge me. Yeah, something about just doing the same obstacles over and over again without struggle sometimes can get like mundane or boring, I guess. So I think that's another reason I probably like it so much is that they change it at every race, that it's always different. So you can pick one obstacle and really you're encompassing like a large variety of it. So that's fun. I really hate carries, kind of like I talked about, but I guess number two for me would be like the way that they keep the carries interesting and how they add other elements to it, like the clothesline. Yes, I would hate that, but at the same time, it feels very like inventive. So yeah, I like that as well.
No, I like that a lot. I mean, I like it as a design aspect. I don't think I would enjoy doing it.
She is 2.5 minutes behind Jamie.
Wow.
Made that look pretty easy.
How far is second? About a minute or two? I'm trying to leave.
Wow. Wow.
Showing her strength.
She really is. Go on.
Yeah, good
Oh,
job.
Nice.
she really showed her strength there. That's not an easy rig setup.
No, I feel like Jamie has really stepped up her strength aspect, especially I've seen some of her training videos lately. She's doing a lot of lifting in the gym, and I feel like it shows. Like, she's looking really strong.
This is
Here she is
fun
coming.
obstacle, isn't it?
Yeah. Coming in for the win.
Whee!
It really can be a scary obstacle for some of those, later in the day, afraid of heights or afraid of water. But
I mean, I didn't want to say, but like when I did it, it definitely took me a minute at the top. Well, not a minute, but it took me a while at the top to be like, okay, slow down, and I definitely screamed.
yeah, you get
it's
going
bigger
pretty
than
quick.
It looks.
Yep.
It's so much fun though. There we go. First
It
place for the
is.
women, Jamie Horianopoulos. Currently seeing
Undefeated.
Rachel Waters in second place. As a reminder, the men's top three were Sean Roberts, Jordan McDougall, and Ryan Ritzolara. And for the women, we've just seen Jamie Horianopoulos finish in first place. So for both Sean and Jamie, that's 2 first place finishes, which gives them 200 out of a possible 200 points so far. Each race is scored a maximum of 100 points for first place, going down to 100 in first place, getting you 0 points.
Second
But
place
from the
coming
100
in,
points going
Rachel
down,
Waters.
you lose a point every time. Which means even if if Jamie came in 7th next race, she could still have a chance to finish first, technically. You get points the whole way through.
Looking at the race results, we had Jamie finishing in the top 10 overall, 10th place finisher.
Wow.
It's always fun to compare the men to the women.
Yes. I love seeing things like that. I really, really do. I really like seeing when women are performing very well. And I think that a top 10 finish overall is incredible. And she should get more points for that.
Rachel looking confident on the rig.
Doing really well on this rig. I mean,
Taking
you can
her time.
tell she's strong.
Go, Jess. Yeah, good job. Yeah.
Oh, and I think we have Jess
Got
Shepard
Rach.
coming up to the rig. Nice.
Jess.
That was a very nice move from Rachel.
Yeah, so,
The last race.
and she
Can I
had
give
somebody
you
not
a
too
little
far
microphone
behind her
so you can
with
interview
Jess
the
Shepard.
guys?
So
So they always leave by the time I get
Rachel knew that she had to get this first try.
Yes, let me clarify that. Airbrush temporary tattoo, right?
Ooh,
Wow.
Make you look like Beatles.
little
That was
slip,
a
but she
nice
holds
move.
it.
That was a nice move. Well recovered.
You have some really cool, colorful airbrush
You got it.
tattoos over at 5 Hour Energy Kit.
Good job.
Good job.
Makes you look cool.
Very good job.
Yeah,
Nice, nice.
Good job, Jess.
Nice.
Lovely.
I saw an interview on Instagram from of Jess Shepard this past, I think it was yesterday actually, and she talked about her first ever Savage race, remembering, and it was just a couple years ago. I think it was 2021, and she talked about how she remembers the rig and failing her very first time. So it's really awesome to see a competitor that was having trouble with rigs just a couple years ago, and now that she's put in work, she's put in the training, and now to see her at the top, top of the field. Oh
Are
man,
we
we've got a
seeing
battle for
a bit of a
third
battle
here.
here? Is that Courtney and Jess? Wow. Wow. This is close.
Come on, Jess.
I think this year we've
come
seen
on,
more kind of photo finishes
Oh
than
my
we've ever
gosh.
seen before. Oh my gosh.
Close.
Wow. I think if there'd been a little bit more of a run,
Nice finish.
we might have been able to see something close. That was
Yeah,
a
that's crazy. I
close finish.
didn't even notice Courtney on the rig. Gonna have to go back
And
and
that's kind of, I was saying a few minutes ago about the losing a spot by a few seconds. I think it's at these points where you look back and go, could I have just run a little bit more on that hill? Did I need to take so many steps that we're walking? And they're like the small gains that people will make that will stick with them.
yeah.
We have a couple of interviews, so we'll pull those up quickly. Just to recap the women, we had Jamie Horianopoulos in first place, Rachel Waters in second, and Jessica Shepard in third, which coincidentally is exactly the same top three as we saw in Maryland, with Courtney Washington coming in just seconds behind Jess Shepard. And for the men, it was Sean Roberts, followed by Jordan McDougall and Ryan Britsolara,
And a
with
close
Kevin
fourth.
Thompson in fourth place.
The podium was last time. That's awesome. Let's keep it up.
Top 3 ladies, overall female here at Savage Race, Georgia, Race 2, Point Series. Jamie Horianopoulos, 1. Rachel Waters, 2. Jessica Shepard, 3. Yeah, you can cut it.
And I said, sure.
There you go.
Hello again.
Hey. Hang on, let me zoom out just a little bit.
I feel like I'm really gross right now.
Oh yeah, it's very humid today, huh?
Well,
Jamie?
I mean, it's just like Florida, so for the most part, a little colder this morning than at home, but not bad.
Well, Jamie, congratulations again.
Thank you.
First place at the second race in the Point Series. As you said, it's very humid out here, but just like it'll be at home.
Yeah.
How do you expect it to be in November?
More of the same. Only warmer in the morning. So, yeah, very sweaty and humid and disgusting and perfect.
Yeah, it felt nice this morning.
It did. So, yeah, I wasn't used to the cooler temps this morning, but it felt pretty nice. Warmed up really quick, though.
Yeah, it did. I think it was the same podium as last race.
Yeah.
Slightly different race this time, though.
Yeah.
You found yourself out in front really early.
Yeah, well, I don't have hills to train on where I am, so I thought I'd better try to get ahead of everyone while I could, just in case I struggled, which I know you saw at the end. But that was kind of my strategy, to just kind of get ahead while I could and hang on.
Well, you did that. You got out early and had a nice big lead. I think even Kelly was close to you, but you opened up a big, huge gap against everybody.
I tried to just tell myself I didn't know where they were and they could have been right behind me. So you just got to have that mentality the whole time. So
how did you feel about the hills on this course?
I mean, it was really beautiful, really nice. You know, like I said, I'm not used to that. So I was trying to be a little cautious with some of my footing. And then I was thinking that if I'm struggling up some of the hills, I should fly down them. So that's kind of what I tried to do without falling. So success. Thank God.
Any obstacles you had any issues with?
Not really, no. I feel like I'm pretty good with a lot of the rig type obstacles. It was interesting having that incline with the Lachey. So that was a little bit different. I felt I worked a tiny bit harder with that one, but for the most part, I feel like my long arms tend to help me a lot with pulling myself through them. So actually, you know what? Now that I'm talking myself through it, all the ropes on that rig threw me off. I thought I had a good grip, and then I realized how thick they were when you tried to grip them all together. So I ended up having to readjust my grip, and I was able to get through. So.
Definitely unique rig with, the whole second half of it was all ropes, different lengths.
Yeah, and watching the little sneak peek of it, I thought, oh, that looks pretty simple, straightforward, but it throws you off in the middle of it for sure.
All right, how nice was the water at the very end?
Refreshing. Very refreshing. My daughter thought I'm a little gross from it, though, but that's okay. But yeah.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for chatting.
Thanks.
Well done, Jamie. Thank you. Courtney Washington, you finished in fourth, right?
Yes, fourth.
That was a very close finish, though. How'd you feel at the end there?
I felt okay. I fell on an obstacle earlier and hit my hip, and I cramped right before I came up, under that little junior kids thing.
A-frame, yeah.
I cramped right there, and so I was just trying to get through that. And then I ended up with, I can go through the rigs pretty fast, so I kind of caught Jess on the wall. And then we landed at the pool at the same time. And couldn't get out fast enough.
I didn't see you on the other side, so you had a little fight there.
Yeah, a little fight. We both were in the water. She was a couple seconds ahead of me. Tried to get out, slipped, couldn't get my footing, and then she took it, which I've been chasing her the whole race. She's so fast. So
was she in sight the whole time?
Not. Probably about my 3, I started to see her. So she was a good bit in front of me, but caught her when we started getting into the obstacles.
Oh, wow, awesome. Yeah, so made it a good race there, though.
It did. It was good.
What do you think it would have taken to have passed her at the end and caught her?
I think if I could have pushed a little bit sooner, I should have started kind of pushing a little bit sooner, and that's where I'm trying to figure out. I've been working on my running this season, and I can't figure out when to start pushing or when I'm going to push too soon and then die out. So trying to figure that out.
Getting that gauging down. That's fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Any other obstacles give you any issues?
No, not really. As always, I love the rig. It's always different, so it's always challenging. Pretty much Savage, as you know, they're known for their obstacles, and that's why I love, racing Savage. So
the humidity do anything to you today?
I don't think so. I'm from Alabama, so kind of used to the humidity.
Yep.
And then we have lunch break. We get like an hour and 30 minutes for lunch, so I always run in the hardest part of the day.
Nice.
Try to combat that a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Anybody you'd like to shout out?
My run coach, Chris, at Run Fluent. My coach at Absolute Fitness, Ryan Condi. My yoga instructor, she keeps me where I can move. Jamie. And then I think that's it.
All right. Well, thanks so much for talking. Congratulations.
Thank you
fourth
so
place.
much.
Amazing. So that was the second of the 3 Savage Pro races in the 2024 series. That was in Georgia, and the next race, which will be the final race, will be in Florida. So as a quick recap, what we saw there, we saw in first place of the men, Sean Roberts, followed by Jordan McDougall, and in third place, Ryan Britsolara. The full top 10 for the men. Fourth place was Kevin Thompson, followed by Luke Ibelling. Jonah Brown was in sixth. Seventh place was Baxter Hummel, Caleb Brown in eighth. Ninth place, Matthew Mullins. And in 10th place, Justin Parker. And for the women, first place, Jamie Horianopoulos. Second place, Rachel Waters. Quite a big gap there between first and second. Third place, Jessica Shepherd. Fourth, Courtney Washington. Alicia Herman in fifth. Kelly Sullivan in sixth, followed by Sarah Tucker, Jessica Wong, Lisa Nondorf, and in 10th place, Rain Gidcombe. So that will have made some additions to the leaderboards, but not necessarily huge changes. For the men, Sean Roberts in first place with 200 points. That's 2 of 2 races won. Jordan McDougall with 2 second places, giving him 198 points. Kevin Thompson tied in third and fourth with 195. They've kind of swapped third and fourth place in these 2 races, so the next race is going to be really, really interesting for them. Fifth, Justin Parker. Sixth, Robert Tones. Seventh, Jesse Beam. Eighth, Austin Brunson. Albert Briggs in ninth, and Joselito Ponce in 10th place. And for the women, same for Jamie and Rachel, and in fact for Jessica, the same 3 places. So Jamie Horianopoulos, 200 of a possible 200 points in first place. Rachel Waters, 198. Jessica Shepherd coming in third place with 196 points, followed by Courtney Washington. Alicia Herman in fifth. Kelly Sullivan in sixth. Emlyn Chang in seventh. Jennifer Bleeker, Sarah Tucker, and Emily Angel coming in 10th. And we're seeing there the difference between 1 and 2 races happening. So quite a big difference. But with 3 races, who knows? It's kind of all to play for now. So this final race coming from Florida on November 2nd is going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, it was a great race today. Happy to watch it.
So as always, just want to say a huge thank you to Savage Race for putting on the race and allowing us to be there, for the athletes for racing so brilliantly, to the OCR report for covering it, and thank you to you, Miranda, for being here with me.
Thanks for having me.